Okay, so today, class, we're going to talk about area of a circle. Okay, so when it's talking about the area of the circle, it's talking about all of this shaded part inside of the circle. It's bounded by the circumference. Okay, so everything that's on the inside of the circle. Okay, so area of a circle is the total area that is bounded by the circumference or the distance around the circle. And in parentheses, like I just said, it is the space inside of the circle. Okay, so the formula for area is equal to pi times r squared. Pi times r squared. Area is equal to pi times r squared, or in this case, pi, which is a permanent fixture in the formula, is always going to be there, is equal to 3.14. Okay. R represents the radius. And in case you don't know, in a circle, the radius is the point from the center to the edge of the circle. It passes through the center, and the end point is anywhere on the circle. And then r squared, we can say, is the same thing as saying radius times the radius. Radius times the radius. Okay? So the formula is area is equal to pi times r squared. Okay? So example 1 says find the area of the circle. So here, I got 14 meters for my radius. Okay. So it's from the center, and the end point is anywhere on the circle. My formula is area is equal to pi times r squared. Okay. Pi times my radius is 14 squared. And I can say pi times, well, remember in the notes up here, we said r squared is the same thing as saying the radius times the radius. So I can say 14 times 14. Okay. If I use my calculator, I can say 14 times 14 is equal to 196 pi meters squared. So my area can be in terms of pi, meaning I leave the pi symbol in my answer, can be 196 pi meters squared, or I can do the same thing. Pi squared, pi times r squared, which is going to give me pi times 14 squared. Pi times 14 times 14, okay, which gives me, like I said, 196 pi. But then I can go a step further and multiply 196 times 3.14, which we said that's what pi equals. So 196 times 3.14, it gives me 615.44 meters squared for my area. Okay, so either answer will work. One is in terms of pi because I left pi in the equation, in the answer, and one is everything multiplied all the way out. Okay, so the area of this circle is 196 pi meters squared. Always put your units. When we're talking about area, it is always squared, or I can say 615.44 meters squared. Okay, so this is example 1. Okay, example 2. If I look here, I have a radius. it is 3. So if I use my formula, area is equal to pi times r squared, r standing for radius, pi times, in this case, the radius was 3. So 3 squared. So pi times 3 times 3. So if I leave it in terms of pi, the area is 3 times 3 is 9 pi. I don't have a unit of measure here, so it's going to be squared units. Okay? And if I want to do it where I have the numbers in no pi, so I'm going to take this line from here, pi 3 times 3. I know that's 9 pi. Then if I multiply it again, 9 times 3.14, 9 times 3.14, enter. That is 28.26 squared units. Okay, so I got 9 squared units, 9 pi squared units in terms of pi, meaning pi is in my answer, or I can say 28.26 square units. Okay, so those first 2 examples were when we have a radius. Okay, well, Miss Aguilera, what if they asked me to find the area of a circle and it has a diameter? Okay, so the difference between a radius and a diameter is, if I look here, the radius goes halfway through the circle. The diameter goes all the way across. Okay, well, we know that the radius is half of the diameter. So if I want a radius, I can put a dot here. I know the whole thing is 4, so this side is 2, and this side is 2. So I can say my radius is equal to 2. It's halfway through the diameter. Okay, so now that I know it's halfway and I just cut the diameter in half, I can say area is equal to pi times radius squared. Area is equal to pi. I know my radius is 2 times 2 squared. Area is equal to pi times 2 times 2. If I want to leave it in terms of pi, 2 times 2 is 4. Pi meters squared is my area. Okay. If I want to multiply it all the way out, I can just say 4 times 3.14. And I get area is equal to 12.56 meters squared. And that comes from me doing 4 times 3.14 based off of this line right here in my formula. Okay, so 4 pi meters squared in terms of pi. If I want pi out and multiply all my numbers, I get 12.56 meters squared. Okay, another example, if I have a diameter. Okay, same thing. Diameter goes half all the way across. Radius is half. So if I split it in half, 14 divided by 2 is 7. This side is 7. This side is 7. So my radius is equal to 7. Okay. So if I use my formula, area is equal to pi r squared. Area is equal to pi times 7 squared. Area is equal to pi times 7 times 7, because we know the radius, 7 squared or radius squared is the same thing as saying the radius times the radius is equal to, area is equal to pi times 7 times 7. Well, 7 times 7 is 49. If I want to leave it in terms of pi, pi inches squared. Okay, if I want to multiply everything out, I can say 49 times 3.14, which is based off this line here. If I use my calculator, 49 times 3.14 is equal to 153.86 inches squared is my area. So in terms of pi, I got 49 pi inches squared. If I multiply everything out, I get areas equal to 153.86 inches squared. Okay, and last but not least, our last example. 42 centimeters. Okay, I have a diameter. Well, the radius we know cuts it in half, the diameter in half. So half of 42 is 21. So 21 here and 21 there. So that means my radius is 21. Area is equal to pi r squared. Area is equal to pi times 21 squared. Area is equal to pi times 21 times 21. Area is equal to, well, 21 times 21, if I do my math, is 441. In terms of pi centimeters squared. So if I leave pi in my answer, which means in terms of pi, 441 pi centimeters squared, or if I multiply everything out, well, I know 21 times 21 is 441. If I multiply it by 3.14, so 441 times 3.14, that gives me 1,384.74. So area is equal to 1,384.74 centimeters squared. This is my answer when everything is multiplied out and there is no pi. Okay, so make sure you have these for your notes. I will hold the camera back over everything to make sure you got it.